Hi, I'm Drawbar Dan Topinski,
I'm Highball Harold Harilko.
and welcome to Shop Track.
Welcome, folks.
And first move,
Hey,
Harold,
what time you got? Let's compare.
what time have I got? Well, just to be sure here, it is a 1304.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
See? Team building, camaraderie, esprit de corps, getting your mind
Yeah,
on the game, tuned in.
holding
Right?
hands.
That's right.
Hey, we're all in this together. Okay.
And now you don't even have to have a watch. Oh, no, you have to have some kind of a thing to tell, I guess.
Yeah, you get off the engine and put a stick in the
Yeah.
sundial it,
That's
you know.
right.
Yeah, we're here for two.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys. Okay, now one thing first. Okay, for the guys, brothers Kostyuk and I got the other guy there. Anyways, Holmes. Anyways, we got the comics. I got them stapled. I got them in the envelope. But brother Kostyuk in Yorkton, I can't find your address. I'll try the contacts again, but you can shoot us that, and we'll have those in the mail tomorrow. All right.
Right on, guys.
Okay. Anyway, so I almost forgot about that. Yeah, but you know, it's just downtime and whatnot, and you know, I'm doing a cleanse. I do about 3 times a year where I don't drink for a month. And, you know, it's like a self-imposed exile I do. And I got to tell you, you know what? It sucks. I hate it. I applaud all you people that are so well adjusted. Anyways, we're going to talk about something today about in the railway culture, the hobos. Because I've come across...
But before we do that...
now I'm blowing it. Harold,
okay.
Nope. I've got it written down right here. Please excuse me. It's been a long time, you know. I've suffered
we're a little rusty.
some head trauma.
It's Monday, you know what I
Okay,
mean?
yes, we always do the shout out. You know that I'm sorry. Hey,
That's okay.
Jesus Christ, go.
That's okay. We would be remiss if we, people look forward to this. It's like woven into their lives now, like the fabric. Anyway,
This will be Shop Track bloopers if
Yeah.
in the future.
today's shout out is none other than Sturgill Simpson. Now, Sturgill walked a similar path to a certain other individual here sitting with us, sort of like me, but not quite. Sturgill did some time with as a sailor in Uncle Sam's Navy, and he got out. I don't know how many tours he did, but anyway, he writes some good songs about his experiences there. He's a shellback as well, which means he crossed the equator. And Sturgill
Right.
also did some time in the belly of the beast, the heart of darkness, management for Union Pacific. Until one day his wife said to him,
EMB.
"You're dying here, man. You got to follow your bliss." And you know what? Good
You gotta
for
be
him.
happy, man.
He said, "I'm doing what I love best." And now he is a recording artist.
Well, good for you know what? It's tough to leave the tit, especially if you've been on it a long time and it's secure and everything. You know
Yeah.
what? And to be able to break away from that, because it's chi or whatever, and to do that and to have confidence in yourself to be able to leave,
Yeah.
structured. Anyways, because you know what? Sometimes the bullshit just gets too much, and especially in management, politics. Some guys can do it really well. Right? But remember, the same coattails that drag you up are the same ones that really bring you down, right? You meet the people on the way up, that you met on the way up, on the way down, kind of thing. So, I mean, that's the thing. So follow your heart and love what you do, but maintain your integrity always, and do what's right for you in your
betcha.
heart. Okay, that's enough heavy stuff here.
Check him out, Sturgill Simpson.
Sturgill Simpson. I like that T-shirt, man. That's pretty
nice,
cool.
Yeah. Got a couple, 3 albums out. Yeah, he's got a real good bluegrass album out. He,
Oh, nice.
I haven't heard him do anything about the railroad, but whatever. He's just a good songwriter. That's why I like him. He's legit. He's sincere. When he sings, it's true. That's my measure.
We should send him a link to this, right? And say, look, we gave you a shout out. Come up with a railway song for maybe we'll use it in the opening.
Yeah.
When we get things, Yeah.
Right on, brother. Okay.
Right on. Okay, the shout out.
Speaking of hobos.
Thanks, Harold. You get a haircut yet?
No.
No. Vladimir.
I can't tell.
This guy looks like he's
Is it collar length or shoulder length now?
I don't know.
I
I'd
don't
have to
know.
hold on to
It's
it to
kind
see.
of, it's kind of in the nether regions, that no man's land between collar length and shoulder length.
It's like when you go to scratch your back from one way or the other. You know, it's always you can't.
Yeah, exactly.
The nether region. Okay. Anyways, I got this. I've got a box of these old railroad magazines, right,
Speaking
from
of-
like 1941.
Speaking of tingling in
54.
your nether regions, I know there's some people whose nether regions are tingling as you start to mention all this stuff.
All right, eh?
Yeah.
Have to put black tape over his eyes. You know, like the old smut books in the 50s. Fire him in there with the tape over his eyes. Who is that? Anyways, but I got 1941 to 54. I mean, I got a box of them, and they are for sale, and they're great. 90% of them are really nice shape. All right. Anyways, yeah, and there's a poem in here, and now here's the thing too. Like one of the things, hobos were very celebrated presents, or there were once, and I mean, there's still people that ride trains, and you see it less and less. But and we'll save that for another story, because I've set guys up, in the trailing unit, and given them, an old guy, and giving them food, between the brakeman and I. I gotta tell you a story one time about. Okay, remind me that for next time, about the dancer
Okay.
that wanted to ride.
Okay.
Okay, we'll save that one. Anyways, I came across this thing, Hobo. There's a lot of contributors to, and this one is from July 1954. The old Hickory Stoker.
Oh, vintage.
That's the old Hickory Stoker. And the oil, they were always the oil burner guys. It was the same thing, eh? Firing an oiler, penny waster, whatever. If you're not shoveling, work smart, not hard. Anyways, Hobo Van Winkle. Hobo Rip Van Winkle, pardon me. So you guys, if anybody doesn't know Rip Van Winkle, you must be under 22 or something. I don't know. But anyways, along a stretch of mountain rail some 20 years ago, there trudged a ragged bindlestiff. By some, he's called a beau. 'Twas twilight, and the golden sun was dropping in the west. The hobo scanned the countryside to find a place to rest. He spied a nook high on a cliff, a spot to order made, where you could see the signal lights, hear mallees on the grade. He made his bed, then paused a while to watch a headlight's gleam. A red ball freight came blasting up, a belching smoke and steam. Then as he ate a meager meal, the Western Mail came by. 2 10-wheel mills were on the nose, great rockets reached the sky. The vagabond then knelt in prayer, his soul devoid of fears, and he drifted off to dreamland, to sleep for 20 years. In 20 years, some changes came, as sure as you were born. Our hobo was awakened by a raucous diesel horn. He heard the sound of motors moan, 'twas quite beyond belief. His eyes bugged out, for there she came, the silver super chief. And all that day the diesels passed, he sickened at the sight. His ears grew tired of growling gears throughout the day and night. Oh Lord, the hobo cried, for the sad thing I weep. And forthwith laid he down again and went right back to sleep.
Nice. Wow.
Eh? Guy wakes up, eh? Those old steam guys. And it reminded me in 2002 up in Jasper, Parks Canada, they redid the CN station because the company couldn't look after it properly. So, they fixed it up, and it was a big anniversary for Parks. And the Railway Museum in Daw, Ted Van Gunst, good old guy. I rode with him a few times years ago. And he brought up the 9000. And it's like the old F units that I cut my teeth on. Anyway, so I'm with a good friend of mine, and we're having a few cocktails and playing chess, actually, listening to CBC radio, real exciting stuff. And this thing's in town. The railway equipment comes to town, so hey, let's go check it out and crash it, So, and he's always been a thing about the hobos, right? And he used to live out at Lucerne years ago, and the original, town site. But anyways, so he dives into his closet and trunk, and he comes up. He's got an actual derby tweed suit, glove, fingerless glove. And so then I come home and I get my stuff, and so we do the old hoghead putting the grab on the hobo. Can you see that, you people?
It's kind of like the rail version of the Shawinigan handshake there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's got the look on his face, But anyways, that's not all. Oh, did you notice too? In that unit was flying green. Green flags, I used to hate it when guys taped them up. It says green flags, not sticks.
That's right.
Well, they'll blow up. Well, stick another one. Stick it in right. Anyways, so that was the whole hobo reference. And anyways, we went to the Model Railroad Club from Edmonton. Brought a layout, in I don't know what you call it, like sections, but there's a special name, modules, I think. Okay, and they brought it up and set it up, so we go in and check that out. And don't take any offense to any nerdy guy, I was a rail freak since I was a kid, and I had model railroad, but I wasn't a geek freak. Anyways, I went to the model railroad store. I was in my coveralls and everything, and my polished boots and whatnot, and somebody made a comment, and I said, "Oh yeah, I'm a hoghead. I just got in." Woo, Jesus Christ! It was like I had groupies all of a sudden. Hey, not now, kid. Later. Anyways, they had this layout set up. So Buddy goes and he knows where the hobo camp would be. There's a bridge there, and just west of the yard. Call me. And he goes, he watched the whole layout, and the guy's watching him. The guy operating the layout, right? He goes, "Hey, where's the hobos?" And the guy, "What do you mean?" "The bums," he says. You don't have, there's part of the, Yeah. And the guy's like, And then I noticed the guy running on the layout there, he's got two SD70 Max, right? And in between, he's got like an old GS12. Or, an old yard engine, a 6SL brake. And he's got in between these two. And I said, hey, you can't do that. And he goes, I said, that's not compatible. You can't train line that. You can't, that you can't hook it up with a jumper and multiple units. It's got to be behind the other two and cut out. It's got to be set up like a box car, right? And the guy was, and there's people around, you got the hobo and the hoghead. Right? He was like, "Oh, these guys, I wish they would leave." So you guys, you guys make sure you do the research, right?
Gotta be real.
That would be embarrassing if I was like, "Hey, what are you doing in the yard engine?" Anyways, that was a lot of fun. Yeah. But anyways, just wanted to say about the hobos and Harold.
Yeah. Well,
anything
well, you know what? I know that a lot of that little bit of that culture lives on in what they call the monikers. So you've got the graffiti, some of which is terrible, some of which is absolutely amazing. But you've got the monikers, which are kind of more like the chalk drawings, right? And some that used to be the hobos would use. Oh yeah,
the guy with the Herbie and stuff like that.
Well, switchman used to do it as well. Yeah. Herbie was a switchman, and guys like that. And that's all you used to see, pulling pins on the hump and Calder in the late 80s. It was hardly any graffiti, but you'd see you had Herbie and stuff like that. And
the hump, eh?
Yeah.
People in the neighborhood didn't like that squeal on the retarders. I never ever worked a hump. I never worked a big yard. Yeah, I worked the yard as a hoghead or whatever.
It was like a.
But the pin. It's like in Winnipeg, where I come from. My buddies, working in Symington, the hump with the wind, eh?
to do.
There's always a guy in, out in the wind somewhere, right? But yeah.
It was like a Zen in the art of pin pulling.
It went, but that's the whole thing. A guy in the tower and
Yeah.
everything, and building trains, and it's like switching and take it. I like that. I like that.
It was fun back then.
It was.
The last few years of what was left of work in the yard. Like, I mean, it wasn't a sweatshop. There wasn't any belt packs. The yard masters were old switchmen. It was like a big fan. I mean, I know it sounds like, oh yeah, back in the day, but it was.
No, it was. Well, of course, it was. There. Like, what hasn't?
I enjoyed it.
No, absolutely. And some guys were good at it. Like, I did a yard master thing for a while, only just because to have it on resume, for the experience or whatever. But it wasn't for me. I was always out, always a train kind of guy. But to build trains and stuff like that. It's cool.
Yeah.
Some guys have it, some guys don't, man. Like especially up here. Some guy doesn't even need a list. Like whatever. But that was cool, making drops and stuff like that.
Yeah, lots of fun.
I used to love doing that, man. Making a drop, stuff like that. Everybody getting set up, and it was fun. God, that's what I miss is how the fun, the whole esprit de corps, and like that's where Children of the Steel comes from. That's Kim Golanowski and I came together with that when we worked when they closed McLennan, and we both moved to St. Albert, and we were like 10 minutes away from each other. Which was a hell of a lot of fun. And we came up with that one day, Children of the Steel, just because he's the same way.
Yeah.
Generational in the railroad, loves what he does, is good at what you know what I mean? And he went for like 45 years.
I think when he retired, that was the last. He was the last of the NAR protected men.
Yep.
Meaning people. Employee.
Yeah, exactly. Don't. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he was number one, right? And by God, yeah, he gave me some nice picture portfolio of the NAR.
Nice.
And we're gonna still do the NAR.
That's right.
Anyways, want to keep this short, guys. Sorry, it's been a while, and I think that's about it. So
we want to always tell you to stay safe.
And remember, Children of the Steel.